This week on the Grand Theory podcast.
And me, like every time I have a game or a tryout,
Yeah.
like it's just like history, you know, like anybody that went to BA on the ball team or whatever, like you had to take a dump before you played, bro. You had to take a shit, right? So pregame, you know. So I was on the toilet, bro, and I heard this guy, I don't know who it was, came in. He was like, "Yo, who's that, bro? Like, yo, you're a stink, bro. Whoever you are a stink, bro." Yo, and I'm there, right? And I'm the only one in the stall. There's no one else in the stall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know anybody else at Birmingham at the time.
Well, I might shop my shop. 1% better. Putting that work. 1% better. Putting that work. Putting that work.
Bro.
Yo. We back in the building.
You already know.
Another episode. Wait, what does DJ Khaled say? Another one.
Another one.
We the best. Well, nah, we the
That was
best.
the best, man.
We the best. We the best. We the best. We the best.
Nah, we don't hesitate on that shit.
What's going on, Ori? What's going on, man?
My man, bro. I'm tired, bro. I'm my shop, bro.
Yo, that's the grind, though.
I'm my shop. But, bro, it's the hustle. That's the grind.
What's this thing we always say, Ori? What's that thing? What's
Bro,
that?
We say too many.
We say a lot of things, but what's that one thing that
Nah,
you say a lot?
Nah, we can never
That
be
what
broke.
we can what?
We can never be
I can't
broke.
hear you, bro.
We cannot be
We
broke.
cannot be broke, bro.
Yeah,
We
broke is-
cannot be
nah,
broke.
It's not an option, bro.
It's not an
Nah,
option,
we
bro.
gotta make that money, bro. Like,
It's not.
bro.
Even if we tired, we gotta keep grinding. You know what I'm saying? 1% better every day. That's the island ground way.
Yes, sir. You know, went to the gym in the morning, smashed that shit. No one in the gym, bro. Early, bro.
I seen
5,
that.
Bro. I went to the gym 5, bro. Look, I go to the gym before the guy that actually opens the gym.
Damn.
Like the guy was walking in, he saw me, bro. He didn't even told me I don't even have to scan in. I was like, nah, just go, bro.
Damn.
The gym empty. I could look around, bro. We're just setting up. That's how crazy it is, bro.
I like that.
Early in the gym, smash that session, onto work, back from work, onto this.
That's right. There we
Grind,
go.
man. It's the grind.
So, first things first,
As
you gotta
always.
make sure, as always, we're gonna give thanks to God.
Sure.
Because if it wasn't for God, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be able to have this beautiful day. We wouldn't be able to have our guests. Me and Ori wouldn't be in good health. We wouldn't have our listeners to be in good health to be listening. So first and foremost, we want to give thanks to God for just giving us the ability to be here in the first place.
Yeah.
As a recap from last episode, we had Kutsunai. I ain't gonna say the last name just because I don't want to butcher it.
No, I'm not,
But we had Kutsunai on, and he dropped some gems on the podcast as always. He said the big thing that we took away from his theory of the grind was it's a lifestyle. It's not just a one-day thing or a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. It's something that we do every day.
single
It's
day.
not a routine, you know?
Facts.
It's not something that you can just do once in a while.
Facts.
He also, one thing that he said that I really, really liked was that detours in life is not a bad thing, you know? It can be a good thing, just like how I got injured. That's a detour that I had to take in my life. But that detour led me to this and led me to the things that I'm going to accomplish in the future, right?
Yeah, imagine when I haven't told they don't know yet though the benchmark. Remember
There you go.
We'll talk about it yet, but yeah, shit happens. But yeah, true.
So-
what he said, true.
It's all, you know, it's all about learning from your experiences. All the detours that happen in life, it's about learning and getting better every single day.
Sir.
But without further ado, today,
Wait.
Okay.
There's one more thing I need to point out from
Go ahead.
So which is, Aquille, y'all gonna whoop that man, yeah?
you know what? I'm a humble beast, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna say too much.
Nah, bro.
I ain't even gonna say too much. It's all about the action. I'm about that action. I am about that. Yeah. I ain't about that. I'm about the action.
Now, don't worry, you guys are gonna see January 2022. That's the
I don't know what
date.
I was trying to do just now. I think I was trying to do my brows or something like that, but you know, it is what it is.
Okay, but yo, let the man take over.
Today, today we got a special guest. This one is a big one for me. they're all big ones for me, but this one has a special place for me because this is my big brother coming in that we're going to interview today.
The Big Dawg.
You know, Big Dawg in the building. He has a master's in addictions counseling and psychology.
Oof.
Masters,
Look at
not
the big-
bachelor,
Yo.
masters.
Damn.
You hear what I said? All right.
Masters.
You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? He
That's
is
big.
a father. He is a husband.
Woof.
Big man status, you know?
Woof.
Big boy status, you know, in the building. He is someone that has played a huge impact in my life.
Yes, sir.
And helped me in so many different scenarios I can't even count, you know? So many different scenarios. Without further ado, 242 in the building. Straight out to the Bahamas. Where we did? 2-4. Hey.
Everybody.
What's
We're
going
doing
on?
good, man. We're doing good.
Lorenzo Rolle in the building.
So he said a little wrong. I got a master's in counseling psychology,
Mm.
but I am currently an addictions counselor for Alberta Health Services.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah,
My
3
bad.
kids, 3
Correction.
kids. Leah, LJ, and
Damani.
Damani.
Nice.
All right.
Down.
Y'all take your time now.
They already know.
You already know what's about to happen when we go like this.
Alright? But anyway.
So you want to start or you want me to start? What you
You start.
You want me to start?
I'll let you start dissecting, then I go and then I chop it off.
All right. Big bro,
What's going on?
what's going on, man?
Alright, yeah, we're chilling, like cool.
I'm happy to have you on, man. I'm happy to have you on. I'm not gonna lie, it's a long time coming. So, Lorenzo, man, take us back to the Bahamas. You know, the country of your birth, where everything started. First of all, there's more than one island in the Bahamas, right? Am I getting that right?
Right.
So I want to know exactly where you're from, and I want to know what it was like growing up. You know, tell me back to the beginning.
Well, Nassau, Bahamas. Nassau is the capital, right? And that's where I grew up, Sugar Apple Street. Pinewood Gardens, Sugar Apple Street to be exact.
Hey.
You know, so I grew up as an only child. You know, I always say only child because me and my cousin grew up together.
Okay.
His name is Devaz, and he also we had other siblings. Let me don't say only child. The reason why we classify as only kids because our dads had other kids, but we never met them growing up, right?
Okay.
And our dads weren't there as we were growing up, so we really only had each other, and we had our cousins, right?
Okay.
And we would like friends in the neighborhood, like you know Tristan. Them we would play all the time, and Dina them we would go outside. I'd be the one though, like my Grammy them would go to work, and Grammy them would say, "Y'all stay inside, y'all don't go nowhere." And the vibes would be on the computer talking to the guys, everything on Messenger. And if you don't know what Messenger is, you're probably too young to know what it's about. He'd be on Messenger and everything, but I'd be outside, like I'd hop the fence in the backyard. Because when Grammy get home from work, like at 3 o'clock, the buses fill up in the front. So I would have time to hop the fence back in the back to go inside.
Yeah.
But I'd play marbles, shoot marbles and thing, and I'd lose my marbles all the time. But Nicky them, they used to break me. And whenever they take my marbles, I had to pay like 5 cents back
Down.
To
per
get
marble.
Down.
Right?
They're making money off of you. They're making money off of you.
So they would take my marbles and then they'd make me like I'd go inside and I'd run look between the couch and then get 25 cents and come back and get 5 more marbles. Then they'd break me again. And
Wow.
then yeah, bro. But it was fun, man. It was nice growing up. It was always something to do. It was always you could have gone to the park and play ball. You know, watch fellas get whop up with broomstick on the court. You know, there's always something to do, man. Right?
Crazy still. That's crazy though. That's crazy. So back home, like how would I put it? So growing up was fun. You had crazy experiences. So what would you say if you can remember back then? What was your biggest struggle growing up as a kid?
Saying no.
Okay.
Because I mean that goes from the church times because I grew up in the church, right? And anybody that know me growing up that you know could go back that far back with me, like they would always ask me to do everything in the church, boy. They'd ask me they'd call me like on Friday evening or something to do something for church Sabbath morning,
Okay.
right? And I would always say yes.
Down.
They'd call me, ask me on Saturday, on Sabbath to do something for Pathfinders on Sunday. and I would always say yes. You know what I mean? And I could just never say no. And then that transition into my life. Don't get me wrong, I always enjoy it and I had fun.
Yeah.
Right? But it was just so hard, Dred. It was just so hard to say no to people. And that even went and transitioned into my life at home, because whenever my cousins and stuff would visit from the other islands in the Bahamas, so there's Abaco, there's Freeport, there's Crooked Island, other places. So when my cousins and stuff would visit, they would want me to make them breakfast at like 6 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't say no. So I'd wake up and I'd make them some nice scrambled egg and hot dog, and I had a nice little fancy way I would make, you know, my little egg and hot dogs, and they would like it. Or my cousin Tristan.
It's almost an expression.
Well, Tristan, right? Tristan would come sleep over with me in the vase, right? And Tristan would be falling asleep, but we would always make a deal and say, boy, we staying up all night tonight, boy. Tristan would say, boy, Rennie, go make me some tea, boy. If you make me some tea, then I can stay up all night with you all, boy. I promise. And Tristan would do this every time, boy.
Yeah.
I say, all right, Tristan, I can go make you the tea, but I can make the tea, but just stay up, just stay up. By the time I got him, go boil the water,
Drop sleep,
put the
man.
sugar in the tea, and stir it up and add a little bit of milk or cream for him.
Yeah.
I come back, Tristan knock out, but
Drop sleep, gone.
Every
every
time.
You
time,
don't-
right? So
You don't drop sleep.
so yeah, man, saying no was a hard thing for me, and that transitioned into many different aspects of my life, and I think that was just probably the biggest part.
You know what's funny, actually? Just the fact that you said that was something. I feel like something that I struggle with too as well. And it's funny. I was actually listening to a podcast today about that, and it said it was talking about how you think that saying yes to everything, right, or agreeing to do everything, is a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
But by saying yes to everything, you're actually also saying no to something at the same time.
True.
So it's like if I tell you, boys, watch, let me go. Let's go. I don't know. Let's go play ball or something like that. And I really want to play. I real tired and thing, right? I want to play ball. Me saying yes, right? Me saying yes in that moment, even though I know I'm tired, right? Yes, I'm saying yes, but in the thing, I'm saying no to myself, but because I want to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to sleep and stuff like that.
Like
Like how you asked me to play ball today, but that's not. That's just the most. That's not the scenario right now. It's just the most accurate scenario I could give, right? But it's like every time you're lying to yourself in a way, because every time you're saying yes to something that you don't want to do, you're lying to yourself and saying no, boy, I ain't really want to do that, but I'm saying yes. You gotta say no to something else, and it shows that you. What the podcast was saying is that it shows that you don't have. By saying yes to everything, it shows that you don't have any value in anything to say no to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's something that it was interesting to learn, you know, because I think I struggle with that too, even for myself, right? But it's just something really, really cool that I learned that even today, as I'm struggling right now, I still have to work on, you know.
Yeah, but what I learned as time progressed, though, and I think it wasn't until I came to Canada that I watched and I observed how many different ways there are to say no, bro.
True.
Like, you don't have to say no.
No.
Like I had this one manager one time and I was working with youth and stuff, right? I've been working with youth for probably the past 5 or 6 years or so, right? And she said no in such an elegant way, bro. Like
You didn't even know it was like did she say no to me?
I would be confused, right? Like I'd be like, is that a yes or no? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But she would be saying no, right?
Yeah.
And it was in such a nice way, like you couldn't
Get mad and like you get mad and
bro.
yeah.
And so I started realizing that anybody that's in power, that were my managers at times, I started to just observe,
Yeah.
and I started to say and to realize, okay, how are they going to handle this situation, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I started to grow. And even my peers, right? If I asked them to do something for me and they said, you know, maybe tomorrow, right? Or, you know, I really wish I could, you know, I just have to handle this first. Let me check my schedule, right?
Yeah.
So as I started to observe and really pay attention, then I became more wise. you know?
Okay.
I like that.
So you mentioned you started observing before you came to Canada. My question is, whenever I don't think we touched on it. So, how did you get from Bahamas to Canada? What was the process? How did that happen?
Oh, story time.
Boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
So, believe it or not, I was before I came to Canada, I was in the Bahamas on a track and field scholarship at the College of the Bahamas, right?
Okay.
Tell them.
Now, I don't want to waste too much of your time.
Nah, man, talk. This is your show, you know. This is your show. When you come on the sub, yo.
So I was at the College of the Bahamas
Yeah.
on a track and field scholarship. The way I got that scholarship was in high school. I went to Bahamas Academy.
Okay.
So Bahamas Academy was always garbage at track.
Yeah.
Like we always had maybe one or two athletes
Yeah.
who would perform, and they might come. They call it BAISS, right?
Yeah.
So they would always compete with the top schools at SAC and St. John's and stuff, and Queens College QC
Yeah.
would always dominate.
Yeah.
But BA, we would always come through. We might get a little silver medal or maybe a gold medal, right? So we had Tess, and a young lady named Tess, and she was a beast on the track.
Now.
Killing
So
people.
what happened was SAC come through, and SAC recruit Tess and take Tess from us,
Yeah.
right? And then we had a couple of athletes who the big schools come and take. So this one year I went to BAISS, and I noticed that we didn't have anybody competing in the javelin,
Yeah.
and I was in grade 12, and so I said to myself, my name wasn't on the list or nothing, bro.
Yeah.
We don't train for track. All we do is we have sports day, and if you come first or second in sports day, they send you to compete.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to train. You don't have to be a part of a sports club. If you come first or second and you're willing, they send you.
Okay.
So they didn't have my name on the list for the javelin, and I just say to myself, bro, I grew up in Pinewood. In Pinewood, we used to have rock fights all the time. In BA even some niggas laugh, right?
They can remember.
In BA, right?
Yeah.
Even sometimes in BA, we used to have legit, like lunchtime, we used to
Yeah.
have rock fights. Like we used to pick up the biggest
Like,
rock,
and
and the fellas would stand over so, and we'd stand over so,
And then you throw
and
it.
we'd throw it, and we
Damn.
trying to burst each other.
Trying to burst people's head in.
Like we legit trying to burst each other with rocks,
Damn.
right? No, luckily now, no one ever got hurt.
Okay, that's
right?
good.
So let me just put that out there.
I hope you guys seen the kind of things that they consider fun back home, you know? So we consider fun back home, you know?
So, so we used to I used to love it. So I say to myself, right? Myself said, man, I said, boy, I grew up throwing rocks.
Yeah.
This javelin ain't as heavy as a rock. If you ever hold a javelin, the javelin even might be as heavy as this bottle, might not even, right?
Yeah.
Because the water in it. So I said, I can just go and I just can throw it like a rock. And honestly, bro, I went there and I came second.
Now.
I beat QC. I
Damn.
beat the other St. John's them. The only person who beat me was SAC, right? They call them the big red machines, right? So SAC beat me. And I was excited because I never trained a day in my life.
Yeah.
I only used to grow up throwing rocks. And I go in there and I come second, right? Same thing with my cousin DeVaz. When my DeVaz went and did high jump one year and he came first.
Wow.
Right? And, he had a chance to go to Crifton and stuff, but he never went, right? But
Yeah.
long story short, I went to... I was signing up to go to College of the Bahamas, but I had to do a physical.
Yeah.
So I was in the waiting room doing my physical, and the coach Bradley Cooper was there, right?
Yeah.
So Coach Bradley Cooper was in the waiting room with me
Yeah.
doing my physical
Yeah.
for me to get into the College of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So we just there talking, and of course in the Caribbean, everybody has the conversations. Where are you from?
Where
Who
you
you know?
Yeah.
Etc. Etc. So Coach was there, and as I'm telling Coach my story, I told him, well, yeah, I don't even think I knew he was the coach as yet.
Okay.
I just said to him, he said to me, you look like you're an athlete. And I said, yeah, I play basketball, and I just came second in the javelin at BAISS. So I told him I never trained before. I just went to throw, and I came second. So he said to me, man, meet me at the college on Monday,
Yeah.
at this time or whatever have you. Finish my physical. Monday went to the school, and coach offered me a scholarship
Now.
to throw the javelin.
Wow.
Right? So that first year, that's how I got a full scholarship there. Then I started playing basketball, and basketball coach those realized that I could hoop. So then they gave me a basketball scholarship on top of that. So I was
This guy was
going to
chilling.
COB for free,
This guy was chilling.
right? And in my first year of throwing the javelin,
Yeah.
I made it to Carifta, right? That's where
to
all the
Carifta,
Caribbean
yeah,
countries now
down.
Yeah.
come together to compete for track and field,
Yeah.
right? And after that, full scholarship at COB, went to Jamaica for Carifta.
Okay.
I came 5th or the 12th, right?
Okay.
Wow.
So the guy who won Carifta, His name is Keyshawn Walcott. That was 2012, I think. He won Clifton. He is from Trinidad and Tobago. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to go all the way with this thing. It's my first year of training, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to be the best at this thing, and I'm going to break records for the Bahamas.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of my friends that came to Canada,
Yeah.
and they were selling books door to door. So they said to me, man, Lorenzo, you got to come. You know, they call it colporting. You have to come sell these books, man. We made $6,000 last summer. You know, you would love this. Come on, you know. And I said to myself, bro, me, there's one thing about me, dog, and you know this, Aquille. Money is everything to me.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's always been money that's been a driving factor for me.
Okay.
It's always, sometimes it could be a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? But money, dog.
Most of the time, it's a good thing, bro.
You
Most of the
need
time,
money
it's a good thing, bro.
to move in this world, dog.
Money, right? So at that point, I mean, now of course we'll probably get to it of how I've been able to better manage my desire for money. But at that point in time, when they told me how much money they made, I was like, all right, boy, forget this. I came to Canada, but the first thing I said to myself was, boy, if and I can say with that Quentin Siobhan, right? I said, but if Quentin Siobhan could make $6,000,
I
what did
know.
they say? 6? No, they said 3. They said 3. They said they made like $3,000, right? So I said, if they made $3,000 each, I can go there, I can work twice as hard as they work, and I can double the money they make, right? And then I can come back home, I could buy me a nice car because I was riding a bubble, I was riding a Wyndham, right? And everywhere I go,
Not Suzuki Swift.
That Wyndham would run hot, and that's the type running hot where if you drive for longer than 20 minutes or so and you stuck in traffic, you got to add water to it.
Oh wow.
So you got to take off the cap so that the radiator could actually blow up because it was overheating. So you got to let it blow up. Then add the water back into it when it cool down, and then you could drive and make your rest of the way where you're going.
Damn.
So I said to myself, I'd double the money they make, go back home, buy a car, and I could be straight. You know what I mean? But I came to Canada. I did double the money they made. I made $6,000 that summer, but I didn't go back. I went to Trinidad for school.
Okay.
And that was my first step foot into Canada.
Okay.
Just like that.
But damn, that's crazy still. That's actually very crazy.
Yeah.
So you said you ended up going from now colporting in Canada that first year.
Yeah.
Then you went to Trinidad for school.
Yeah.
All right. So when you went to school in Trinidad, what did you take in school there?
I took religious studies, actually. That's where I started studying the theology piece. In the Bahamas, I was studying marine science.
Okay.
And then I went into theology there because the colporting piece is actually connected to
religious studies.
Yeah.
Okay. And so from that religious, what made you go into religious studies? Was it like a desire that you had? Like, what drew you to the religious studies?
Well, in reality, like in doing that type of work, like you have to have a strong connection to God in the colporting piece, because if not, you have to have some sort of belief.
Yeah.
You know, because the people that swear at you on a daily basis, and I had a buddy of mine, Darrell St. Clair, who was studying theology at the time.
Yeah.
And there's a few prayers I prayed, and my prayers were answered in a certain way, and I felt like at that time that I was being directed to study theology, right? And that's why I didn't return home to buy that car, but I put the money into going to Trinidad school.
Okay. Nice.
What was it like to go like to these? Because each time you're going first. You went from the Bahamas, then you went to Canada, then you went to Trinidad. So and then I won't go that far. But so what was it like to go each time you're going into a whole new environment, a whole new little place?
Yeah.
So what was the struggle of like going there and having to make friends, adapt, and excel?
Yeah.
In reality, bro, if I could be honest with you,
Yeah.
it was never a struggle for me, bro.
So no more.
Like, it just, there was a pit stop before I went to Trinidad. It was St. Lucia. Went to St. Lucia for like a little 2 weeks or so vacation type what. And even when I went there, I made friends, right? Like, I was just always that type of person, bro. Like, going to Trinidad, spending time there. I knew Darrell already, right? I knew a couple of people already.
Yeah.
But in living on the dorm, when I went on the dorm, bro, everyone was already like family. You know what I mean? And I don't know, bro. I just can't explain it. Like once I get around a group of people, it's really easy for me to connect to folks. It's really easy for me to find out
skill,
who,
yeah.
you know, real recognize real.
Real,
You
fair,
know,
fair.
my boy Daniel always say that, you know, real recognize real, dog.
that's fair.
So there's never a place, I've been in many places around the world, and at each place I've went, I've had a connection.
Yeah,
Each
that's true.
job I've been to,
Yeah.
I've been able to easily connect with the staff, with the youth, with the so I can't really say, bro. Like, what part was difficult?
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
You just have to be able to accept where you're at.
Okay.
You know, you can't fight it.
Yeah.
You can't sit back and say, "Oh shoot, I'm in a new place now. I'm gonna have a hard time making friends.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have anxiety. I'm gonna feel depressed for a few days. I'm gonna stay in my room because I don't know anybody." No, like, you can't do that. You have to live as though you expect to enjoy yourself, expect to make friends. You know, and everything will be great.
And I think that's a mindset too that you have when you come into that place, right? Having a mindset, because some people, when they come into a different location, like, oh man, I have to go make friends, I have to do this. It's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Like, when he's coming in, he's like, yo, okay, I'm coming to a new place.
Excited.
You know, it's a different
Yeah.
mindset that he's coming in with, right?
True.
And that's a really big thing. I think, like I said, mindset is like something that is so key. But it's something that is always is usually overlooked. You know what I'm saying? They don't really take it into consideration. It's something that's easily overlooked, but it plays such a big part in almost everything that you do.
Yeah. So I wanna just you don't have to go deep into it, but just want to touch over it. So when you were doing the sports in Bahamas, and you were going to school, how did you balance school life and focusing on sport? Like, what kind of student were you?
Bro, I've never ever said this.
Yeah.
I'll be straight up with you. No one has ever heard me mention my GPAs.
Yeah.
Ever. When my wife tries to see my GPA with my master's degree, I don't like when she looks at it, bro. Okay. So I'm
Untold stories.
Get myself ready, okay? So back in the Bahamas, in high school, I did basketball, volleyball, track and field or whatever when we could, softball, whatever sport we had. I was in the choir, whatever we had. My GPA was a 3.33.
Damn.
Okay, that was straight through high school. Right. One time, my mom tried to get me to stop doing sports, and I was like, that don't make no sense. Like, my grades are good. Just let me do what I'm doing. Right. There was a time where, honestly, in high school, I wasn't trying my hardest. I just was doing what I had to do, bro. Because that 3.3 was good. So why would I hurt my head for more?
Yeah,
you know?
True.
So then I went to Trinidad. When I was in Trinidad in school, I was on the basketball team, volleyball team. The gentleman that I told you beat me in Carifta, Keyshawn Walcott, who won the Olympics. I would travel 2 hours a day. My boy Richie Goodman, he connected me with the coach of Keyshawn Walcott. So I was training with an Olympian. People don't know that either. I was training with the Olympian who won the gold medal in Trinidad. I had to travel 2 hours a day to get to practice, 2 hours back.
Damn.
Right? My GPA in Trinidad was a 3.78. Okay?
Damn.
All right, left Trinidad, I came to Berman. When I was in Berman, I was in the choir, basketball team, volleyball team, campus ministries. I was working 2 or 3 jobs on campus. I moved off dorm and I lived in Ponoka, so I had to drive back and forth. My GPA was a 3.7. I just finished my master's degree. Once again, bro, I don't stress myself out of a school, bro. If I have an assignment or paper to write, and it's just me who I am, I don't suggest that other people follow suit. Because if I have a paper to write, I could write a paper in a few hours, and I could get an A for that paper.
I've seen it multiple times.
Okay, we don't go to Birmingham no more. I have written papers for Aquille. Okay, and someone else that I will not call their name. I have written papers for many people before. And my GPA at Birmingham was like a 3.67 or something like that. I mean, like my Yorkville, my master's degree was a 3.7.
Damn.
I have to be busy. And when I did my master's degree, I was married. I had 3 kids. I was working full time. I was coaching basketball and volleyball for Berman. I was working 16-hour days. It's just, I have to stay busy, bro. If I don't have stuff that I'm doing, I feel like I will waste time. And so if my time is not managed with something that I'm doing, and some people say being busy is a sign of laziness or so. Some people like to say that stuff, but if you're able to actually be effective in what you're doing in those hours of what you're filling your time with, then that's not the case.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So I just manage it, bro. Like, I know if it's gonna take me 4 hours to write a paper, I have the other 20 hours of that day to sleep, play ball, do all that stuff I want to do, and I have 4 hours allocated to that paper, you know?
Yeah.
And
so time management, you're able to manage your time.
Same idea with P.
That's that time management. So it's kind of you brush on going to school at Berman.
Yep.
So Berman is where I met Zoe, right?
Story time.
I don't think I like Zoe, or Zoe didn't like me when he first met me. I don't know why, because I'm a likable guy, you know what I'm saying? So
I'll tell you guys exactly why. I'll tell you guys exactly why. Anyway, finish what you're saying.
But I want you to tell me, because when you went to school at Berman, right? You did religious studies in Berman, right?
Yeah.
But when you graduated from Berman, you didn't get a job in your field, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get a job in your field. And I know there's a lot of people that go to school, like tons of people that go to school, and they work at McDonald's. You know, they're not getting to use their field to do what they want. Like, they went to school for all these years and they don't get to use it. Yeah. So, what was it? How did you manage that? And how did you transition into counseling? But how did you manage that? Like, how did you manage that transition? You know.
First, I'll tell you guys how come I didn't like Aquille. So, bro, let me talk to you.
Talk to me too.
Real talk, dog. So, I heard his voice before I saw his face.
Yeah.
Right.
Voice of sex.
We were at a basketball tryout, right? And I'm like, who is this nigga talking to, bro? So I take my time and I get up out the stall, right? And he was already gone.
Yeah.
But when I got into the gym, I heard his voice, bro. And when I heard his voice, I was like, yo, I don't like this guy, bro. Like, and that's how I
Hey, guys. There's a reason why I said that, huh?
That's how I met Aquille, yo. I might have been gross or something. That's the truth, bro. That's how I met him, bro.
This guy, listen to this, guys. He's telling you that he didn't like me because I said the truth. See, man. Yo, people, man. People, man.
Oh, man.
Wow.
But yeah, man, that was our first encounter. But back to your actual question as to how I transitioned. First of all, bro, like when I graduated school, right? Like, a lot of people have their understandings of what they feel as if I didn't get a job, right? And we could go into that if you want to. You could ask me those questions. I don't really care. We could answer those questions.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it was frustrating to me at first.
Yeah.
Right? It's because my last 2 years, and a lot of guys that graduated and got jobs didn't do what I did.
Yeah.
My last 2 years at university, I actually took over a church, bro.
Okay.
You might know this. So I got word from the conference that they wanted to shut a church down.
Yeah.
And so I contacted the pastor and I'm like, hey, you know, I heard the church is going to shut down. Please don't shut it down. I'll take it over for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'll run it. So I organized programs for 2 years.
Wow.
I organized who was speaking for 2 years. Like, and every Friday I would send an email out to the entire university. But I also had like pastors from across the conference and like here in Alberta and Ontario to update them on what was happening, right? And then like twice a month or so, we would visit the old folks home. I would have people come in and do like health seminars. whatever you could think a church needed, I did.
Wow.
And for those 2 years, instead of like the membership of the church was like attending maybe 5 people going every week.
Yeah.
While I was there, we had like about 15 or 20 every week. So I proved myself. You know, I proved that I could do it, right?
Yeah.
And so all the stuff that went down as to why people thought I didn't get hired, all that stuff happened, in July, August? But I was already told by the conference when I had my interviews that I wouldn't be hired.
Oh
wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I was already told. I was told by the Alberta conference that, you know, Lorenzo, we can't hire you. We want to hire you, but we can't hire you right now because we have a number of pastors coming back. So unfortunately, we won't be able to hire you. I was told by a number of them, right? Some didn't answer me or whatever, and then other ones I didn't want to go to. Like I didn't want to go in different areas. So when it was kind of confirmed and all type of stuff or whatever started happening, then I said to myself, you know what? I can't allow other people to have control of my future, bro. You know what I mean? Because when we allow other people to have control of our future and our lives, then they determine our success, bro.
True.
Yeah.
Then I can determine whether you succeed or fail.
True. Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So why should we give other people power to determine whether we succeed or fail?
Facts.
And it was at that point we were working in Fort Mac, Aquille. He was with me.
Yeah.
We was working in Fort Mac at the time after the fire, doing fire restoration. And so I said to myself, bro, why would I depend on another man to decide whether they're going to give me the bag?
Sure.
Nah, bro, I'm going to go get the bag.
100%. 100%. True.
So it was at that moment where it clicked for me that I have goals and no one's going to stop me from achieving my goals.
Facts.
And I started like trying to figure out, okay, well, if I want to buy a house eventually, so how much down payment would I need for a house? So we were working in Fort Mac, making some good money.
Yeah.
How much down payment would I need? I started to study to even go to med school.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I remember that. I actually, studying. What the book you had?
MCAT.
MCAT,
I had books for the MCAT,
I remember that.
studying to go to med school.
I remember that.
And then I transitioned to counseling because I'm a family guy. I love family, bro. And as a doctor, I felt like I wouldn't have been able to spend as much time with my family.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know, well, if I did my master's in something, and eventually down the road I wanted to go back into theology, which I don't now. Like I really don't. I will never be a pastor now. But if I wanted to get back into that, I thought that counseling psychology would be the best option for me to actually relate to the people of the church, relate to the young people, and it would set me apart from everybody else that graduated with me. Because at that time, everybody was depending on someone else to decide their success. Right? And so at that moment, I made the decision that I will never do that, bro. I will never depend on somebody else to decide my success.
And so was that a hard transition to make? Because initially, you probably, like you're saying, you were frustrated, right? Initially, you were frustrated, but then, like, moving forward, because I know there's lots of people out there who are like, they're frustrated, man. Like you, like I go to school for 4 years, and then I can't, and I'm working at McDonald's. I'm not in the field that I'm in, but for like so. Just the fact that you were able to transition from that and kind of be able to, like, you know what, I don't want someone else to determine my like to have the outcome of my job or have the outcome of my finances or my future in their control. You know what I'm saying? So, kind of going from there now.
I want to pause for a second. It was hard. So I shouldn't downplay it as if it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was difficult. The difficult part though was coming to the realization that who I thought were my friends weren't my friends.
It's a powerful one still.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what was hard. Like I could have cared less of what people were saying, but it was who I thought were my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is who I considered family to me. Weren't really family, bro.
True.
Right? And so at times there were times where I was like, yo, because I was here in Canada, I had no family, no legitimate family here in Canada. I only had you. Right? And you and I were working together, but you left. You left and you went to train for football. So I was legit just me working. And people thought I was back in the Bahamas, but I was actually still here. Because I was posting. That's when you all think you're all smart. I was posting pictures from back in the Bahamas
Yeah.
to try to convince people who was watching my IG and stuff
Yeah.
that I was back home.
Yeah.
But I was actually in Fort Mac working the entire time.
Been grinding.
Right? I was grinding, I was making that money the entire time, but people was like, oh, he going back to the Bahamas, right? But really, I was just here the entire time. And the thing with home is stuff like depression and anxiety isn't considered real.
True.
Right?
That's true.
I don't know, that's just how it is in the Bahamas. I want to say the Caribbean, but in the Bahamas for sure, I grew up in it. If you felt depressed or you felt butterflies, like that's not anxiety, that's just butterflies. If you felt sad or you felt like in a down space, that's not depression, but you just feeling a little wet, like you know what I mean, like you just having a bad day, just feeling down, right? And so now that I went through the master's course and understanding the different, depression and what anxiety and these different diagnoses are, I am able to look back and say, yeah, bro, I was depressed, bro. But me being depressed is different than someone else. I was depressed, but I was still waking up every day to go to work at 5 a.m. Right? I was still in a solid routine, which is one of the biggest things I think you can do to get out of depression, is to find yourself in a routine and still connect yourself with some sort of peer group. Because I started working with Mitch and those guys became my peer group, bro. They became my friends at that time, and they helped put me through.
Nice.
So
That's
the schedule.
That's something that I think is very key. Actually, what he said with because I think even Kutsi mentioned that too, because he said he had a routine of like, oh, I would get up at 5 o'clock and go play football, right? And so like just having a routine, because when you get stuck in something like that, you need something to kind of get you out, and you also need people that are there. You need a good support group, genuine people that are going to be able to get the support group to get you out there. So I want to just transition a little bit, because you kind of touched on it a little bit with the addictions counseling now. How is it now? I know you're working in that field, and you've been working in that field for about maybe 5 to 6 years here now, right?
Yeah, I've been working with youth with addictions and behaviors for about 5-6 years, but the actual specific what's it called, the term or the, what am I trying to say,
Maybe like
the thing they gave me of addictions counseling, that position, I have only had that for like a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how, like, what's the kind of the, because you're working with kids that are, I guess, dealing with lots of troubled backgrounds or troubled past experiences. So what's the hardest thing that those kids are facing, but what's one of the hardest or the most common things they face, and like how do you deal with it, like with struggles? How do you deal with the struggles that they're going through?
It was kind of on my tongue. Family piece is missing, right? So
I agree on that. I'll let you go.
That family component is often missing. So even though I can connect with them and I can inform them about the negative side of them doing drugs and these different substances, right? There's a common thread that the family component has some negative effect on their lives. Either it's missing or it's resulted in what they're going through. And so what they do in using substances is somewhat to numb their pain because of what's missing in the family component.
I think like right now, because from diving deep inside research and stuff, family, like what's it called, broken homes is majority of like, what's it called, I'll put this word, is the problem of our society right now. Because like either the father's not fully there, or the mother's not fully there, or there's like a toxic relationship with the mom and dad, and then kids growing up in that setting is actually, I feel like that's the biggest problem that we actually have in today right now. That's the biggest one. So when you said that, actually, like, my head, yo, that's actually true. So that's crazy though.
Don't get me wrong. There are some kids who have perfect families that do still use drugs and substances. However, the majority that I've seen so far, in fact, all that I've seen so far, are because some parents have had some sort of substance use along the line, or there's some breakup. But one thing I need to point out, though, is that I've never seen a black kid in care.
Wow.
I've worked in care for the past 5 years.
I'm saying that's a good.
I want to clap. Can I clap?
So in the sense of, anyway, I'm talking. So right now, when you say in care, in the sense of like drug taking,
I'm talking about in group homes. So there are group homes across where parents are deemed unfit I've never seen a black kid over my 5 years. I'm not saying they're not in care. I'm just saying that I've never seen a black kid in care over 5 years of me in here in Canada.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a youth that's lived on the streets since he was 12 years old, and he's 15, 16 today, and he told me, Lorenzo, I've never seen a black kid living on the streets.
Damn.
I've never seen a black kid, I'm going to say living on the streets, but he said, I've never seen a black kid strung out on drugs and addicted to these drugs that I am. I don't see black kids addicted to meth. I don't see them using fentanyl. They smoke weed and that
weed,
stuff, right?
yeah, I know.
But I don't see them addicted to these stuff that we're addicted to. They're smart, right? So I just want to say, man, that we're doing something right as our parents are doing something right, and I think that even all of us that are listening to it, that we have to continue doing something right as we grow older and as we have kids.
Yeah, facts.
Raise our kids in the right way.
That's true.
And that actually transitions into the next question that I want to ask you is like, you being a father, like, yeah, I think you're only 1 year older than me, correct? 27.
No, I'm like 3 years probably old. I'm 28.
28. Okay, two years older than me, right? But the one thing that I really respect about Zoe actually is that, so Zoe is only like 2 years older than me, but he has so much responsibility, you know, and that he has 3 kids, right? He has a wife that he has to take care of, you know, and he has 3 kids that he's taking care of as well. So the thing is that's kind of crazy, right? Is that he came from a single parent home, or not a single parent home, but a home where his dad was not present.
Single parent. With my Grammy and my granddaddy.
Okay,
yeah.
so single parent home,
yeah.
And he's like an exceptional man, you know, today. So how were you able to become a man like you are today, like how you are
like
today,
yeah,
without having a man to, like, well, not just having a man to show you, but without having a father presence in your life?
First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
So I think that you're an exceptional man, right? You know, father to your kids and a husband to your wife. But how were you able to, like, where were you able to, like, learn that, or how are you able to learn that without growing in a home with 2 parents?
Yeah.
You know, you would come from a single parent home with no father figure there.
First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Hey, Jacob.
Nah, I'm just playing. It really, honestly, bro, my granddaddy, I just call him Daddy, right? But Daddy, Rufus Alexander Palemas, he was the only father figure that was really there for me in the Bahamas, bro. Like, he was the only man in the house. But Daddy was so quiet. You know what I mean? Grammy them used to make all the noise. Mommy them used to make all the noise. And then Daddy would come with his still small voice. You know what?
I know that.
Anything he said, we would listen. Yeah. Anything he said. You know, and then, like I said also, I grew up a lot in the church.
Yeah.
So, there's this man. His name is Uncle Lester, we call him. So, if you ever meet Uncle Lester, even up to today, Uncle Lester still probably play volleyball, right? But any sport Uncle Lester played, you would hear him shout, "You gotta want it! You gotta want it!" Right? If the ball dropped next to you, Zoe, you gotta want it! You know? And from I was probably 5 or 6 and me going to play volleyball at the church, I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
You know? So even though I didn't have my biological father wasn't there, I got glimpses from many different people.
Strong black figures, man.
And like, in our lives, we see the same thing. Everybody is in our lives for a reason. You can pull and pick and pull different pieces from everybody, bro.
Sure.
Right? So from my granddaddy, from Daddy, I got the little when to have the still small voice. You know?
Yeah.
You know how to be a hard worker.
Yeah.
But I would go to work with Daddy, and we'd be lifting blocks, boy. Or because he's a contractor, we'd be lifting blocks all day. And after my 5th, 6th set, I tired, but Daddy there going all day in the hot sun. Daddy going, and that's where I get my work ethic from. So when you hear me say that I went to work yesterday, and I did renovations on my house, and then I went to the gym, and then I went back and finished some more renovations, and then I went home and got home after 11. I watched my granddaddy work hard all day. You see what I'm saying? And then I got the shouting piece where I hear from Uncle Lester, which you gotta want it. So that's where my passion for sports come from.
Trust me.
Right? You ain't never see me hoop or nothing, bro. When I hoop,
you think I just talk?
bro, like that's
He's a
my
baby.
passion.
He's a bit. Me and this guy fight like that, you know.
We
fight like that.
Yeah. Like that's where my passion for sports come from the Uncle Lesters, you know. And then my desire to be precise with everything I do come from like the Uncle Ray, right? Because that was a drill. When it comes to drilling, everything got to be Uncle Ray. But I remember one time, Dread, my pants was on my bongi, like hanging off my bongi, right? and it wasn't on my waist properly. Maybe it's a pathfinders or something, right? Uncle Ray walked past me and pulled my pants down, full off, and I was mad, boy, and I couldn't do nothing about it. But after that, I never wear my pants on my bongi again, right? Every day my pants is on my waist after that, right? When it comes to drilling, if he say right turn, you gotta be precise with it, right? And then like that business mindset and stuff started coming from the Uncle Chris, right? Because Uncle Chris, owner of Sunrise Shredding, he started telling me from before I even left the Bahamas, he started telling us, guys, you shouldn't buy a house right away. That's a dead investment. You should try to get apartments, you know, where you could sell off or rent off one and live in the other, right? And so I watched him when he left Canada and came back. He started his business, Sunrise Shredding, right, which is Sunrise Information. I can't remember the name of Chris, sorry, because you changed it, you rebranded it, and I haven't been home for a little while. But Sunrise Information Technologies, I think, right? So those are where my like pieces, bro. I just full pieces, and then that was then. Started to develop some more from Mr. Walters. I call him Uncle Rob, right? Because when I came to Canada, I saw a black man that actually was able to do the whole real estate thing, who owned the number of properties and land. And I just had to ask, how did you do this? How did you do that, right? And the next part of that was just instinct for me, you know, to know what was I missing from a father? What was I missing from my biological dad? What did I want? Those days when my dad would tell me, I come in to pick you up to go to the movies, and I would get dressed, right? And my mommy, boy, I love her. My mommy wouldn't. Hey,
shout out to mom. Hey, that's my mom too, eh?
Right, my mommy, boy, she would never tell me, Lorenzo, don't get your hopes up. She never badmouth him, you know. She would always just say, okay, you going to the movies? Okay, baby. I would get dressed, y'all. Many times I remember getting dressed, sitting on that bed in front of the TV, waiting for my daddy to come pick me up, and he never show up, boy. And I fall asleep in my clothes, and I waking up, and then I had to go get changed, and then, you know what I mean? So the disappointments that I had, I just said to myself, I never want my kids to experience it, right? And so that's what I do now when it comes to being a father. If my kids are doing something wrong, you know, they know what coming, but I also show them love, bro.
Yeah, that's man. I gotta take some time out just for this second, just to really congratulate Zoe, because it's not like it's something that I've seen in person too, you know, because I know him before he had the kids. I know him now that he has a kid. Like, I seen how he is as a man, right? And a man, like I said, Zoe taught me a lot of things. When I was younger, I was wilding out. Like, you know, I was in Fort Mac and stuff. I just wilding out, you know. And it's because of Zoe. That's why, like, even though we're not blood brothers, right? I always refer to him as my brother. Some people might actually think that he's my actual blood brother, because every single time I will always say he is my brother. Even for me to say that he's my friend, to me is disrespectful, right? Because he taught me so many things. Even if he didn't tell me the things, just from me observing him, right? Yeah. And showing me from his example. And for him to not have any, not for him to have a father figure and still be able to be a man like that, to show me that, it's something that I gotta give him props for, you know. And as you can hear from his story, it takes a community to build a leader, you know, because he took things from all those different strong black figures, or not even only black figures, but from strong father-like figures around him, and he took bits and pieces from each and every one, you know what I'm saying? So that just shows, like, you need a good support group to become who you're gonna be. To be like, your support group makes you who you are. 100%. He didn't have those people around him. he wouldn't have been the man that he is today. You know what I mean?
That's why that's saying like who you have around you is gonna play a huge factor in your life. Like,
Huge
if you have people that are big in fitness and they're actually pushing you, like not just having them around, it's actually people that genuinely care about you. Like I usually tell Aquille when it comes to like, working out, I saw my biggest change physically when I started working out with him. I was hitting the gym, but I didn't really know what I was doing. But since I started working out with him, because one, he saw the push that I had in myself, and two, like he genuinely cared. So that's when I saw the biggest results. Same, like just saying, if you're hanging out with friends that actually care about you financially, if you're hanging out with them, you get like you. There's no way you'll be broke. There is no way. As long as you have the right work ethic, there's no way you'll be broke. So it falls in the same sense like your friends that you have around you, if they're not like having positive impact, I always say like, yo, just cut them. Personally, cut them off because they're just dragging you down.
Because like they always say, like there's a saying that you probably see it lots of times on social media and stuff. It's like if you have 5 billionaire friends and you hang out with those, you will probably be the 6th. And if you have 5 friends that are broke, you're probably gonna be the 6th broke person too.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny way when we was in school, right? And I have to mention them. When we was in school, there was a group of girls that always stayed together. Nisha, Johnny, Nisha, Johnny, Gabby,
Emin, and
all
no,
the Walters, them too, Ray Cash.
But there's somebody,
Jackie,
Jackie, yeah.
T, she's a lawyer now too.
Teresa.
Boy, and I used to say to myself, like, if you realize all of them kept themselves to a certain standard, bro.
Yeah, they did.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And even as they finish and they graduated, bro, in their group, they have lawyers, bro.
Yeah, they do.
They have lawyers in their group, bro.
Big time, yeah.
And I want to congratulate them because at the end of the day, even if one of them became a lawyer and one did not, like they still pull each other up, bro. They still pulling each other along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're not letting one fall behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always commended them on that, bro, because it was just always something that I loved to see.
Nice.
You have to have a
strong
very
team,
key,
bro.
man.
You have to. You have to, because you can't. I mean, you can do a lot by yourself, but you need a team, bro, to push. Because bro, there are gonna be days that you're being like, damn, you're gonna be mash up.
Yeah, mash up.
Trust, mash up.
And that's key because there's one thing is like, even for I don't know if I can't speak for everybody, but I know for myself, sometimes I want to do everything myself. I don't want to rely on anybody. That's like a big thing that I kind of still struggle with. I don't want anyone to say that they helped me or they did it because of I succeeded because of them. You know, I don't want them to hold it over me. So I try to do a lot of things myself. But even at this podcast, right? I can't do that. Like Ori is a way better videographer for me. That's what he does. He's photography, videography, and he's great at it, right? Like I can't be like, yo, I'm gonna do the video and stuff if that's not my strength. Right. I need Ori to be here so that we can do the video part of it. I might be better at the audio, or I might be better at the whatever, setting up the mics or the table. But it takes a team for us to have this podcast, right? So I can't do it on my own, even if I want to, I have to have a team.
Even starting the podcast, dude. That was a long. Nah, we're not gonna get into it today. Nah.
But just getting back to it, so you started to talk a little bit about investments, right?
Yes, that's true.
And so I know that that's something that you started now to get it really in depth into now. So tell us how you started, what you're kind of doing with investments, and maybe give us some of the advice and tips that you can share with us right now.
Well, my mind has always been on how can I, as I said earlier, how can I make money, right? What do I do? Should I buy a house? Should I buy apartments, etc., etc.? So when I actually came to Canada, and I started asking Uncle Rob a lot of questions, like how in the world did you get all of these places? Like where do you start? And my goal from that point in time was always to buy a place in Lacombe. Always. And this was like 2014. Like we're in Lacombe, we're in university, right?
Yeah.
And then I started to understand, okay, as a first time homeowner, you only need 5% down.
Yeah.
Right? So therefore, okay, if I only need 5% down, And then you do the math and you say, okay, well, if I want a house that's worth $300,000, then boom, boom, 5% of 300,000, that's how much I need as a down payment to buy this house.
Yeah.
I thought that was it. But then as you go a little bit further, you realize that they take your job into account. That's why I would tell you at time it's Aquille. I would say you need to work this job and stay there, bro, for at least 3 months. Because 3 months, according to the government of Canada standard, is your past probation.
Yeah.
And after your probation, you can then go to the bank and you can ask for a pre-qualification to see what you're qualified for to purchase a home.
Okay.
Right? And so the way I got started was I would ask questions. I would just ask Uncle Rob, how did you do this? And I would go to Miss Walters also and say, hey, Mom, how did you guys, how did you use this? And they would talk to me about home equity line of credit. And I didn't know what these things meant, but it planted a seed in me.
Yeah.
Okay? Also, Terrace Heights Drive was always the party spot in school. Like on that strip, everybody was always down there, right?
Yeah.
And so I figured, okay, and I told myself, bro, take this in. Sometimes you have to tell yourself where you're going to be in order for you to be there. I told myself from back then that I was going to own a house on Terrace Heights Drive. Because I said, if I owned the house on Terrace Heights, I would always have renters. Because the university is right down the street. Students are always going to want to party not too far from the university. It's not too close, like on Dare Street or something like that, where like they can always get caught.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So,
wait, sorry, I'm just what did you say again? Just repeat that one more time.
Which one?
Where you said the gem that you dropped.
Sometimes you have to tell yourself where you're going to be in order for you to be there.
Sope.
So big out here.
Ooh,
Man, we're gonna get some. I'm gonna get a gem or something.
Sometimes, bro, like you got to, right? And so I had planted that seed in my mind from then.
Yeah.
So long story short, the way it started was we ended up working in Fort Mac for a little bit. We made a bunch of cash, and then after we made that money, we also got tax returns. So when you're still a student, I think, and I'm gonna be straight up, like we probably got tax returns like of about $9,000. I got like $9,000 back that following summer in tax returns, right?
Yeah.
And after I got that $9,000 back, I actually moved home. I moved home in like October, before the tax returns came in. Started working at the Bahamas Academy in January, and then I got an offer to come back to Canada and work with youth, right? And I did tutus, and Dania and I started dating around that time. It was 2017. Forgive me, baby, if I'm wrong.
Shout out to Dania.
Hey, yo, God couldn't have blessed me with a better wife than that, eh?
Hey.
Let me just put
Big talk.
Listen to me. When I tell you, I probably cook food every night when I go home after work. Every night I have something hot on the stove. Listen to me, a wonderful mother. Listen, I couldn't have it better. Anyway, and the family, her family. So when you talk about having a family that feels like yours, anyway,
beautiful.
And she beautiful.
We just.
Let me not even get.
I want to dive into it a little bit in the sense of just a little.
Okay,
Won't go
ahead,
deep
go ahead,
in the sense of like, guys out there, will you marry is key.
It's key, man.
Absolutely.
Listen, man.
You mentioned two stuff that actually really stuck out to me, which is one, the family. Guys, a lot of people actually don't put into consideration the family she comes from. Like that plays a huge, huge factor.
Yeah.
And two is, like you said, she knows you're out there hustling, grinding, busting your ass.
Yeah, bro.
But you're coming back home. You know, like they always say this, like your wife should be a piece, not your stress.
Yeah, bro.
From what you just said a little bit in my head, I'm like, yo, she's probably your piece right there. She's not stressing you out nothing.
My wife didn't have to work. She just started working this probably past month or so. My wife hasn't worked for the past 4 years, and I just been holding it down. But in me holding it down out there, when I come home, I know I got something to eat. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I know I straight. You know what I mean? And in the fact, she's submissive, and don't take that word wrong.
A lot of people take it the wrong way.
Don't take it wrong. She's in the sense that she trusts my judgment so much that even when it comes to these type of investments decisions, we discuss them, and she, even at the end of it, if she doesn't understand something, she says, baby, I don't fully understand it, but I trust your judgment. So when we started dating in January of 2017, February, and then I brought her back here to Canada with me when I had that job offer. We were actually in a lease to own for a little bit. We were paying like $17.50 a month, guys.
Damn.
$17.50 a month for this house. Only thing that was included was water. Okay.
Down. So electricity, the whole bills
Take
was
this
on
in.
you.
$17.50 a month.
Down.
For this house. The purchase price of the house would have been $330,000, and we had put a clause in there that we had until we had 3 or 4 months to decide to end the deal, and we could have ended it and we would have been okay. Okay, we had put I think $5,000 down, and we were in there for 2 months. Long story short, I was working this job. And I was only making like $40,000 a year at the time. But I was there for more than 3 months. So I went and I got a pre-approval, and I was pre-approved for $165,000. We saw a house in Lacombe, Terrace Heights Drive, for listed at $219,000.
It's
right?
cheaper.
Much cheaper than $330,000.
Yeah.
The basement wasn't finished, so I said, baby, let's try. She said, baby, I trust your judgment. Okay. I offered the lady $175. Remember now, I'm only approved for $165. The lady came down from $219 or $220, whatever it was, to $200. Right? Went back to my mortgage broker at the time. Long story short, we got the house for $200.
Damn, nice.
$200,000. Remember now, you only need 5% down. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got the 5% down. We put that down, and I bought the house in Terrace Heights Drive. That was my first investment.
Damn.
Right? And then just recently, literally recently, like a week ago, I got possession of a house that we bought in Lacombe, like a house.
Damn.
Another house, second house. So I'm using the first one as an income property right now, and we just got this next one, and we bought this house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $180,000. Right? You gotta be patient, right? You gotta. You know, you got to plant the seeds, and then also you got to look and see what options are there. Are you willing to do a little bit of renovations or not? You know, so that's how I started to put my foot into the investment piece when it comes to real estate. And then I started doing more research around the stock market. Not sure how much time we have, but my god brother Keithan, a few years back, probably 4 years back, he was trying to he was trying to encourage me, right, to persuade me to invest in Bitcoin. And I was like, I don't know, bro, but I was gonna give him like $2,000, right? But something happened and we lost contact, and we just didn't speak to him until literally like a week ago. But between then and now, like, I have some investments. I don't say have. Dania and I had some investment in some crypto, some Bitcoin, some Ethereum. We have some stocks. And when it comes to that investment world, I learned all of my fundamental analysis really from Wall Street Trapper.
Okay.
So I took a Wall Street Trapper course, trapping with Wall Street Trapper. I was in EYL University.
Okay.
So what happened with EYL University, I was in there for a month, and then I realized that it really wasn't for me in the direction I wanted to take. And so I took a step back from it, because they do like your refund over the month. So go ahead, if you feel like you want to be at EYL and you realize, you know what, this just isn't for me, you can take a step back. I did that, but it was EYL that directed me to Wall Street Trapper, and I learned how to properly analyze a stock. Is it a good or a bad? A company. Is it a good or a bad company? What is the 5-year market and stuff? So I went from EYL University. So EYL University at that time, it was $800 for the year. And I invested into myself, right? Because we speak about that now. I invested in myself because I wanted to grow. And I wanted to understand more about the stock market. But EYL, and when I got into it, I learned that it was more than just about the stock market. It was a lot about real estate. They had HIM 500 was on there, MG, the mortgage guy. And that's where I just learned about all these guys, man. But when I got there, it wasn't what I was really looking for. So I gained as much as I could, but I left, and they do have a money back guarantee for the first month if it's not it doesn't fit you, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But when I was there, I recognized that Wall Street Trapper kind of fitted what I needed at that time.
Yeah.
I also watch Market Mondays. So every Monday night they do a live streaming their podcast live on YouTube, and so you can watch it. And so I watch it every Monday night, and I realized they had Wall Street Trapper come on a few times. So I was watching Trapper, and I said, well, if they're bringing him on and I want to learn more about stocks and how to properly research a company, then maybe I should stick with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I went from EYL University to trapping, right?
Yeah.
So I started trapping for like...
Wait. Did you start?
So but once you get in there, like you're trapping with Trapper, like
Trapping with Trapper.
You gotta experience it to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
bro.
fair.
They have when you in there with Trapper, like any question you have about stocks, you can ask. He has lieutenants in there with you. Like as soon as you jump off the porch for the first time, you put I just jumped off the porch, which means that hey, you just bought your first stock, you know, or you bought your first share in a company, or you just set up your account, you know what I mean? And then you get a chance to take part in researching companies.
Okay.
He does something called every day is something different, right?
Yeah.
There's live from the kitchen, which happens on Sundays, ticker symbol Tuesdays, like, you know, it's just amazing, bro. That group is amazing. And another big thing, and I realized, okay, my time with trapping with Trapper was done because I grabbed all I needed to grab in that period of time. Now my next step is really trying to get in with Ian Red Panda. So he did have a little so I'm gonna say the price, and you guys might think it's a little expensive, but like once again, it's an investment, right?
Yeah.
So his yearly price is actually $10,000 for the year. Woof. Right, to get in. But he had a 75% off just the other day, and it was like $2,500 for the year.
Oh shit,
Right?
So that's a big
That's
one.
was a big job.
It's a big cut, right? It's a big cut.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Ian Red Panda, like this nigga. He tells you, he gives it out there, and he says he'll let you know. Okay, Bitcoin is gonna drop to probably the lowest gonna go is 28 something, right? And it dropped to 28, right? And he'll tell you, okay, Ethereum is gonna first drop when it was at the high. He said it's gonna drop to 36, and then it'll come as low as 28, and then it might go a little bit lower from there. And
So it's an extremely reliable source.
Listen to me, bro.
Extremely reliable
when
source.
you watch Market Mondays and you see the gems he's putting out there, 2 index, 2 techs, that's not my stuff, guys. That's Ian.
Hey, shout out to Ian.
That's Ian. That's straight Ian. So I'm really trying to get in there on I'm trying to get in the Red Panda, bro. Right? But right now, as I said, I just purchased my second home, right? So I had to put my money allocated somewhere else.
Yeah.
But from now, I'm watching Market Mondays. Cheat code, the last thing I'll say. Cheat code algo is also something I learned from EYL University.
Okay.
These guys created something where it helps you with your technical analysis.
Okay.
So I learned the fundamental analysis from Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to learn the technical analysis. That's $200 a month, which is more doable for me. But because I can't put my focus all into it right now, I'm just a part of their Discord group. So I go into Discord on like live chatting, and I ask questions about stocks. I watch them talk about trading certain stocks, options, all of this stuff, and I'm just learning.
Yeah.
I'm putting myself in that environment to learn once again.
Yeah.
And I know it, bro. I'm gonna be probably the first. Not probably. I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family.
I like
I like
that.
that.
I like
Straight
that.
up. It's gonna happen.
I like
It's
that. What's the
gonna
date
happen.
today? What's the date today?
It's gonna happen.
What's mark that date down? Yeah, you
It's the 9th of July,
July
July
9th,
2021.
2021.
I'm gonna be, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
You
gonna
what
be-
do you say? What did you say? What's the gem you dropped earlier? Sometimes you gotta say what? Sometimes you gotta say what?
Tell yourself where you're going to be in order for you to get there.
Talk your ish, my
Telling
guy.
you.
So-
Telling you.
That's what I
So
like
big.
to hear.
Yeah.
So, the one thing I really like from the from just all your investing strategies here is that the key thing is you got to invest in yourself, even
Yeah.
if in the beginning it's a little bit hard. It's like
Yeah.
even if it puts you at a little disadvantage, or you have to invest in yourself because it's not about the short term; it's about the long term.
Exactly.
Bars.
Hold for 20, 30 years.
Bars
You're
for
buying
days.
Stocks, you're holding for 20, 30 years, right, Ian? Right? Like,
You have to.
that's what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're holding for 20, 30 years. So if you're investing in yourself, like, you can't expect to only give yourself a year or 2 years to get better.
Nah.
You can't, bro. Like, you can't expect to go to the gym like and like.
Ooh, you just I was just about to say that too.
To be better.
Exactly.
Like, it has to become a lifestyle.
Right? So which is exactly what Kutsi said the
yeah.
last time. You see how it's all connecting? You see how this? So it has to be a lifestyle because it's just like he said, right? Just like Zoe said, it's. You can't just go one day in the gym. All the little things that are discomfort now, getting up at 5, going to the gym, eating right, getting enough sleep.
Yeah, bro.
It's all discomfort now.
Yes.
But in a year or 2 years or 10 years down the road, when you're fit, when you're healthy, you don't have no health problems, you're gonna remember all those little things. That's what you're gonna remember.
But you know the funny thing now is when you get that result, you know what everyone says? You did steroid. Or if you're rich, you'll be like, oh shit, this guy's still.
Oh, you hit a lick or someone leave you that money.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't know you. They didn't know the work, the whole process of what you had to do to get there.
And that's right there is what
the grind theory is all about. That's what the grind theory is about. We're diving into that process of how you get to the end result. People only see the end result.
Facts.
You know, they only focus on the end result, but you don't see all the little work. But you don't see how many hours he's in there researching and figuring out companies. Going to look at how many different guys he's watching to figure out what he needs to do to invest.
Exactly.
There's probably lots of trial and error where he maybe lose money, he makes money, but he's still staying consistent. He's still learning because it's an investment, not just for the short term, but the long term.
Yes.
Bro, you tell anyone you invest 10K into a class that can make you understand stocks, they be like, oh no, that's a scam. It's this. Mm-hmm. But you know the reason why you're doing it. But then, like I said, it all falls back to the same stuff. When you actually become that millionaire, they're like, this guy, bro, did this. Same with the gym. Like, oh my boy, I'm gonna roast him, my boy Banji. When I started lifting, bro, I usually, because I was following the diet, I was eating broccoli and spinach like every single time. You know what was he calling me, like the grass man? Like, bro, I was eating like literally, bro. This guy in my phone will be eating like pizza and stuff. I'll be right there eating pizza, like broccoli and spinach and rice and chicken. I look at him, I'm like, dog. But the gains now is there. The boys was like looking at me. You know what he told me? It was like, yo, if we're ever going out, don't wear that shirt. Like, shirt, hoodie. I was like,
hoodies only, man.
But bro, the amount of work when you're in the gym, bro, like you want to die, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yes, bro, you've seen it. Like, you guys don't see. You've seen it before, bro. Like, bro, when I'm like, dog, I'm mash up. But bro, get your ass up, go into the gym, working out. Same stuff with the money. Like, yo, researching, studying. But no one sees that stuff. But when you get the result, that's why now I always say this, like, bro, if I get a result, I don't care. Like, bro, I'm gonna be humble, but I'm gonna show it.
100%.
Because I know, bro.
You work for it. Put in that work for it.
But you know the work, dog. To become rich is not easy, bro.
No, it's not.
Because if it's easy, bro, there's gonna be a lot of rich people out there.
Everybody would be doing that. Everybody would be doing it if it was easy.
So that's why I'm thankful too. Like, once again, that I have a wife, bro. Like, Dania Rolle is by my side.
And big up Dania, yo. Big up Dania.
She's willing to ride with me, and when we say that we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have our top 5, which includes 2 index and 2 techs, and we're gonna invest at least $1,000 a month into those companies.
Sure.
And to those, we're gonna just ride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we're gonna do, and for the next 20, 30, and that way, that's how we're gonna create our generational wealth, and our kids gonna be straight.
Yes,
I like that. That's I really like that because just I'm just gonna say this real quick. It's like a lot of times, especially in society now, we're really caught up on instant gratification, bro. But it's like because you want it quick. You want the results quick. But bro, you have to put in the work, and it takes time, bro. Yeah. Everything takes time.
Facts.
So just make sure that everything that you put, all the work that you're putting in, you might think it takes for granted right now, but it's gonna pay off. You just have to stay consistent.
100%.
Right from that saying that you wanted to save it for your kids. I have a question for you now. Yeah. The question that I have for you is, say you were to pass away now, right? You were to pass away. It would be unfortunate, but say you were to pass away. What's 3 things? I want 3 things or 3 life lessons that you've learned, or 3 things that you would want to leave to your kids. 3 lessons about life that you would like to leave. What would you tell them? What would be things that would help them carry them throughout life?
I think one is what I said already. I've been saying, sometimes you have to tell yourself where you want to be in order for you to be there.
Jam.
Right? Like, you have to believe.
What's my favorite saying? Anything
can happen if you just
people know I say this now but you know why I got it from? I got it from him. He used to say it to me
all the time.
Every single time, anything can happen if you just
Everything can
believe.
happen if you just believe.
I love that
Anything
saying.
can happen.
I believe that though, but not for his ball spot. Nah.
Listen,
Yeah, keep that
yeah, I stopped interviewing people with all this long hair, man. Stop interviewing people with long hair, man. I need some short hair people in here.
That's one, or we count that as two?
That could be two.
That's two. Yeah.
Yeah, they just. I mean, let's count it as one, because telling yourself where you want to be sometimes in order for you to be there is really encompasses believing.
Okay,
You
sure.
know?
True.
Fair.
And then I would also want my kids to know that they can do anything, man. Like, there's so much power in our minds. There's
Speak to
so
me,
much
man.
power in our minds.
Speak to me, man. Speak to
Like,
me.
if you tell yourself you're gonna fail, you're probably gonna fail.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, if you tell yourself that, you know, that wall is too high to climb, you're probably not gonna make it over the wall.
Yeah.
You know? And so I would want my kids to know that there's such power in our minds and in our thoughts. And if anything that we think,
can do.
think it,
You
it will
can do.
likely become reality. You know?
Facts.
So we have to be careful, and I would tell them, be careful what you think. Be careful what you think. And then the last thing I would probably say to my kids is to have a mind of their own. And having a mind of your own, that means you think for yourself.
Yeah.
You come to conclusions for yourself. You come to beliefs for yourself. Nobody sets the standards for you.
Yeah.
Nobody sets the status quo for you.
Yeah.
You end status quos.
Yeah.
You were the one that builds up and takes down and tear down the walls, and you come to your own conclusions.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
And so that's the thing.
but I love those points. I don't even want, because if I go into them, I'll go so long. But I love those points, man,
Yeah.
because I don't even want to get started, man. My mindset is so key, guys. Like, it is so key, man. Like, in everything. Like, I know last episode, you know, Kuti already knew I was gonna say something about mindset. But the reason why I said is because I've seen it, man. Like, I've seen it. Mindset is so key, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It is very, very key.
It is.
And even what you said at the end, they were saying you having a mind for yourself. Like, I even noticed that too. Like, even myself, I fall victim to that as well, right? Is that sometimes you see something outside on social media, or you know, someone has an opinion about someone,
Yeah.
and you just take up that opinion without even getting to know the person.
Yeah,
you
true.
know, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy he's not that good, or he sucks. But you didn't even take time to study for yourself,
Yeah.
to form your own opinion. You
True,
know,
true.
and it's very easy to do that. Follow the crowd.
True.
So to have your mind for your own, I really, really like those points, bro.
Key.
I like those points.
Because
No,
then,
I
there you go, you
I
go.
was gonna say, I could have said work hard. You know what I mean? Everybody say they want their turn to work hard, but hard work is not always enough, bro.
Bro.
Facts.
Hard work is not always enough. Think about it. A lot of us work hard, but there are people that don't work as hard as us that still make it ahead of us. No, man. So you can't tell your children just to go work hard.
True.
Because they might work hard for somebody else. Work hard and build their dream, you know?
Facts.
Build their dream.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to hit you now with this. This is a special segment right now.
Sure.
This is called the Would You Rather segment.
All right.
So, you know, would you rather? I got one. I'm going to say, or do you have one? Or,
When I want to ask him, I can ask him on YouTube.
oh, yeah.
I honestly want to ask that question. Honestly,
I know you were. Okay, we can't ask that one. We can't. We can't.
Actually, when I'm on the time, bro, we can, bro. Like, bro.
Yeah, just to be careful. Okay, yeah, fair.
Bro, that's the babu.
This one is the one I already wants to ask you is
Before we say, hey, this is all jokes.
all jokes.
I just letting you know this is all jokes.
All jokes.
But you go.
So the would you rather that Ori wants to ask you is, it's the scariest way. What's the scariest way to die? Would you rather A, die alone,
Okay.
like no family, no nobody, no Daniel, no LG, nobody, no mom, no dad, nobody? Would you rather be buried alive,
Okay.
or would you
Dun,
or would you rather Would you rather be raped by gorillas to death? to death.
Oh God!
Why would I want to be raped by the dog?
Hey man, that's what the question was. That
I'd die alone.
die alone. Sure. Okay.
Okay, good.
I'd die alone.
Fair. Now, okay, fair. Now, the would you rather that I want to ask you is, would you rather have to go through the pain of giving birth,
Okay.
or would you rather not being able to have kids at all?
I'd give birth.
Okay.
I like that answer.
I'd give birth, boy.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd take that. I'd get that epidural too. Yeah. I'd get that epidural, boy.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask that because
Yeah.
I know that. Well, I don't know, but from just what I see and what I hear,
Yeah.
it's very painful process, right?
Yeah.
And even for men, I don't know if a man could go through that pain, but if you had to go through that pain or to not have kids, which would you rather? And I think that why would you rather do that? Just because?
Because when you think about it, bro, like your wife in the future or your wife eventually will have to go through that for you to have your offspring. You know what I mean? So if the roles were switched whereby if the roles were switched where I had to give birth in order to have an offspring, bro, like I would do it. You know what I mean? Just so that I could be able to bring a life into the world.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if it was for my wife to be able to have a child or something. Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
100%.
And I'm keeping that thing I've noticed too is kids, extra
blessing.
motivation, bro. Mine is blessed now, bro. Extra motivation, and bro.
You gotta
You have a
grind.
kid,
Yeah.
bro. You switch.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. I can't. I have to step up. So
Yeah.
That's very true.
that's nice though. That's
So
though.
true. Well, as we come to the end here now, we gotta end with the big boy question.
Yeah.
What is your theory of the grind?
I feel like I know his answer, bro. I actually have a
I
feeling.
might have said it. You guys might have heard me say it. My theory of the grind, man, is really what you do when nobody's watching. Like what do you do when there is no time on the clock, right? Like what do you do if you don't have to get to work for 8 a.m.? You know what I mean? Do you still show up on time? Like what do you do if the bell doesn't ring? Do you still fight? Right? What do you do? Right? Do you still continue to push? Do you still run until your legs fall off? If there's no timer for you to stop, like what do you do, man? Right? So when nobody's watching, what do you do? Right? When there are no limits. So that's my kind of theory of the grind, right? Like, what if there is no ceiling? And if I think a lot of us work with a ceiling in mind, and that's why we get stopped prematurely because we already have a ceiling. I asked you a question a long time ago. I got upset at you. We actually argued this day. I asked you. I said, okay, well, with your podcast that you're having, how much money do you want to make? And I'm not going to say how much money you said, but you gave me a certain amount, and I was pissed. And I said to you, come on, man, like you got to give me a bogus number of billions or trillions of dollars, but don't give me that number you gave me, right?
I'm gonna have to know that number off camera because I want to know if this. Later. I'll ask off camera. I'll put it up there.
So sometimes we give ourselves ceilings
Yeah.
that are so low, right? So imagine if you gave yourself a ceiling up here, and if you don't make it, you might fall like down here. But if you give yourself a ceiling like up here, you might fall here.
Like
Yeah, true.
Right? And I think that that's the piece of the grind, is that you got to just be willing to go hard when no one's watching, when you have no ceiling, and just go. And when you do give yourself that ceiling, put it out there.
Yeah.
Put it way up there. Right? So when I say to myself, you know what, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family, I already know with my 2 homes that I own, I'm already more than halfway there.
So it's yeah.
Right? So
I like that, and as you guys can see, like I like that he brought that up because it's not like it's not like me, Ori, or Zoe are at where we're supposed at the end goal. We're not at the final destination. Each day, like I always say, 1% better every day. The way I was thinking back then to the way I'm thinking now is different. Each day you're getting 1% better. Even the way I'm thinking right now is not the way I'm going to be thinking in the future. It's there's levels that I'm going to get and improve. You know, so it's always like he said. What are you doing when nobody's watching?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Nobody's watching.
Because that's when the real you actually comes out.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no one looking around. No one looking to the left. No one saying go to this, do that. No one. It's just up to you.
It's just you.
Like that shit.
Because you always push harder when someone is watching you.
Facts.
In the gym, when you have a spotter, you always push harder.
Facts.
What are you doing when no one is there watching you?
That's true.
You know?
That's true still.
So, man, Zoe, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
That's my big bro, man, in the building. Big bro in the building. He gave so many gems, so many. He showed you what it was to be a man coming from his circumstances and to become a great man, you know?
Like no excuses.
No excuses, bro. So there's no excuses for anyone out there. Like from what he came from to where he is now and where he's going to continue to be. Like he said, July 9th, 2021, the man said he's going to be a millionaire. Watch. When we redocument this, we're going to interview him again when he's a millionaire. You of us? That's how we're going to do. So, thank you so much, everybody, for subscribing and watching the Grind Theory podcast.
We're growing pretty big. I see it.
We're loving it. We're loving it, man. We're loving the support.
Keep
commenting. Keep sharing it. Keep liking. Keep subscribing because that only makes us go harder and harder and harder. We're going to do it regardless.
100%.
But every push, every subscribe, it pushes us even further, you know?
Appreciate it.
So, subscribe, like, share,
comment. Oh yeah, we have a new page on Instagram.
We'll drop it in the link. Oh, so if people wanted to get in touch with you, maybe to get some tips or just with housing and equity, investing, where can they reach you?
Y'all could just on IG, same thing. I'm just Incrediblue, 1914, like incredible, Incrediblue, 5 Beta Sigma. Till the day I die.
Yes.
So Incrediblue instead of Incredible, Incrediblue, 1914.
Okay. Right. And also, I know if there's people, I don't know if I could say this, but if there's people that are kind of going through struggles, you are as addiction counselor. You he's very, very. I know we didn't dive so much into it like we wanted to maybe, but Zoe is very, very big into mental health, right? Yeah, and hit him up too because he can really help with that.
Eventually, I did start my own IG page too. I'm just not putting it out there yet until I get it really off the ground. But eventually I'll share that. But still, if you are struggling with when it comes to mental health, if you have I'm well versed in marriage and family therapy, any type of counseling, mental health, just hit me up. Same thing, Incrediblue 1914.
Hey, okay. Right. Thank you, everybody.
Sounds good.
Shop Ari the Label too, one time.
Ari the Label, always.
Don't worry.
Yo. I'm not gonna call her out. That's today.
Don't worry, we're gonna get some bling for you too.
Oh, 100%, man. Yo, send me my bling. Come on.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Island Grind out.